those two things are also incredibly powerful tools for healing. And they're things that every movie you've ever seen has the potential to hold in them. So one is connection, how we're connected, and that connectivity drives us. And the second is curiosity, right? Wonder. Just leaning in, wondering about things, being curious about things, wanting to know, wanting to explore. Those two things, connection and curiosity, every story in the world has the potential to be creating that for you.
But I think what our ancestors did and what was important to them was to tell what was happening and to be in the moment instead of trying to fit an external validation system. It's learning through process, learning through who we are. And so I think the way forward in story is reclaiming that story. And a lot like Naomi said, getting out of those pockets of who gets to tell the story and taking our story back for who each and every one of us are. And I think we can find connection that way. And when I show up in a community where people are being curious, I get to be me. And the connection comes from understanding myself in reflection with those around me and letting go of the external stories.
So if you can imagine capitalism and colonization as this like armload of bricks that we're all carrying around and we're like, I don't know why I'm carrying these bricks. They're so heavy. And there's these stories, these narratives that are attached to these bricks. And so I want you to just picture for a moment being like, F the bricks. Let them fall to the ground. Just watch them scatter around. Like, okay. Oh, doesn't that feel lighter? You breathing for a minute? And then we need to identify the stories we hold as individuals that are tied to those bricks. They might be on the ground, we might be attempting decolonization. But if we are still internalizing the stories that those bricks that we've been carrying around our entire lives have integrated into our bodies, we're still living and breathing those stories, even though we are trying to walk away from the bricks.
But the idea that story is not ours, that we do that everyone does not have a story worth listening to is the first sickness. And the second sickness is that through a series of strange circumstances, those people who have been given this special power in our society are for the most part in deep trauma. And it's a trauma that's created by and also perpetuated by the industry that makes movies right now. And so, as Catherine's talking about, as we're experiencing these stories, literally as though they're our lives, the stories we are mostly being told are told from a deeply traumatic and unexamined traumatic place. So they're literally taking their trauma and spitting it back out at us. And so I just offer to you, as we've talked about a lot, what would be different if our storytellers were healed storytellers and were healers, and those stories were medicine and not simply regurgitated trauma.
Media is the most powerful tool for change of our generation. It absolutely is.